So I recently reacted to a video called Why Is It Impossible to Live in Ireland, and it blew up completely, guys. It's amazing, still getting lots of views, so go and check that out. We got another video today about why nobody wants to live in Ireland, okay? But not me, guys. I want to live here. I'm an Irishman. I'm going to do the impossible, and I'm going to actually live in Ireland for my whole life. So like, comment, subscribe. Let's hear the negative talking points. Of course, the economy. Of course, we have mass crazy immigration. We have crazy issues in this country. Nobody has any money, okay? Nobody has any houses. I mean, the list goes on, but we're about to find out exactly what is going on from the man on the YouTube channel called Hindsight. Okay, so go check him out.
Many would dream of living in Ireland, but something is brewing underneath the surface.
Both my sisters are emigrated, so I'm emigrating as well.
I don't really see a future for me living in Ireland.
Young people struggle to find a job. Wages are poor, the cost of living high. They can often find better opportunities abroad, and so they leave.
We are still breeding our young people like our cattle for export.
Ireland spends millions on educating its workforce, and those young people then make careers abroad. That's how it's always been. There are 15 times more Irish people abroad than in Ireland. They have had negative net migration for decades. In recent years, the number of people coming to Ireland is skewing these figures. But in reality, over 80,000 people left in 2015 alone. But most people fail to see how this
that's Galway. I love it, guys. We love to see Galway on St. Patrick's Day.
Wave of immigrants and Ireland's massive diaspora is actually the solution to their problems. This is how Ireland is wasting its greatest resource with hindsight.
Huh. So obviously he's throwing in his name there, Hindsight. I don't know if he's going to be talking about the economy, 12.5% tax rate, but we're going to hear about it, guys.
There are, of course, many real challenges that young people face, and if many of them move abroad, that inevitably puts considerable strain on the country. For example, 81% of Irish companies now struggle to find workers. This is much worse than just a few years ago.
Wow.
But I disagree with the common narrative of the media calling it a ticking time bomb or a worrying brain drain. This completely misses historical perspective. I will get into why Irish youth are so eager to move abroad, and more importantly, why the massive Irish diaspora could be key to solving these issues. But first, it's important to recognize Ireland's historic trend with immigration. The 1840s were a dark time for Ireland. There was a major shortage of food, and tens of thousands of people were dying of hunger. It was particularly bad in the western and southern parts of the island, and
That's where I live, and obviously it was because of the potato blight.
this hardship
And also because Britain was basically keeping food from us. We actually produced a lot of food back in the famine, but Britain was stealing us and robbing us of the food and starved the population of Ireland. They tried to basically genocide the whole population of Ireland, England, at the time.
forced over 1 million people to leave the country over the course of just a few years.
And 1 million people died. So 1 million left and 1 million people died.
Most immigrants were farmers, unemployed or unskilled, and the majority left for the United States. By 1871, Ireland's population stood at just 4 million people. In subsequent years, the population continued to shrink, and every year, tens of thousands of Irish people left to search for better fortune abroad. Ireland had a relatively backward economy that relied mostly on agriculture. Its only real export were its people. Even in the 1950s, when many countries in the West experienced rapid economic growth, Ireland's economy grew by just 8%, compared to the European average of about 40%.
That's because, like I said, Ireland is a third world country living off first world countries like America, these massive corporations, Starbucks, Google, Amazon, that kind of thing.
Stark difference inspired many people during the 1950s to leave the country and to be part of the rapid economic development that most other countries were seeing. Ireland lost 500,000 people, which means that 1 in every 6 citizens left the country.
Crazy.
The large number of people abroad, combined with improved communications infrastructure, started a new phenomenon. Irish people abroad started sending money to their families in Ireland. In some regions, like the Western Seaboard, remittances accounted for over 10% of the entire economy. Irish expats were now becoming increasingly important to Ireland, but its government invested barely anything in cultivating a relationship with its diaspora. After the economic disaster of the 1950s, for the first time, people were moving back in the 1970s, but in the 1980s, disaster struck again. Many young people were struggling to find jobs. They left the country again in large numbers. But things,
I mean, we left the country in droves, guys. Absolutely crazy, guys.
Were about to turn around. The Ireland we know today is the product of a period of rapid economic growth that became known as the Celtic Tiger period. Job opportunities in Ireland became on par with those of other countries, and fewer Irishmen left and more were coming back. The global financial crisis turned this around, but later it bounced back again. This is the historical trend. When times are bad, people leave, and when times are good, people come back. After decades of emigration, the Irish diaspora has grown huge. This gave Ireland global connections far beyond its size, helping Ireland establish itself as the gateway to doing business in Europe. But now, times are bad.
I'm not looking for anything special. All I wanted was a 1 or 2 bed apartment, but has been mentioned here behind me as well, the prices of them. It's just extortionate.
People aren't saving to buy houses now. They're saving to get out of the country.
Before we get...
That's true. Houses are, I think the average house price in Ireland is €600,000 in Dublin, and then the national average would be 330,000. You know, to own a house, to get a loan from a bank, you have to earn basically the same equivalent. If a man and a woman, if they have a relationship, you have to earn 130,000 with a collaborative income to actually own a house or get a mortgage. It's unbelievable.
Get to what's happening today and the diaspora's potential role in solving it, a quick word from my sponsor. Our personal information is...
So yeah, we're going to skip on this part a little bit, guys. But yeah, much love to this guy, man. Check him out. Great channel, Hindsight. Let's keep it going.
Something changed in the last decades.
Only 2 years ago, multinational companies were queuing up to hire university graduates like these. Now, the situation has changed drastically.
It really is heartbreaking. I mean, it is terrible to think that in this day and age we are once again raising our children for export.
The Celtic Tiger period that gave rise to Ireland as a modern economic powerhouse was followed by a collapse and a recession. And young people were hit disproportionately hard.
Nowhere is this brain drain more obvious than at Ireland's largest technology college, and most students here are planning to emigrate.
Young, gifted, and gone.
I think nowadays, people go to college, and college is free in Ireland, but they go to college and they expect something from their 9 to 5, and it's not really what you think in Ireland. The 9 to 5, that you might want to do, you might a couple of years into it dislike, and then you have nothing else to do. So my recommendation is to do some sort of entrepreneurialism. That's what I'm doing, guys. I did business in college. I quickly realized that Ireland is too expensive for me to stay here, but I wanted to stay, so I built a business on the internet. Okay, plain and simple. And I would advise everybody to do the same.
Ireland spent decades on building its educational system, but the job market had imploded.
Queuing to leave the country, thousands of people turned up at an international jobs fair in Cork today, hoping to escape unemployment at home and to make new lives abroad.
When times were good, this country was fantastic. There was great money to be made and great opportunities and all the rest of it, but just like a train crash, it just stopped.
Young people were hit particularly hard by the recession and then by the effects of the pandemic.
And we kind of immigrated to Ireland when I was 6 or 7, 2008, then 2004, and then about 4 years later in 2008, the economic recession happened. Even my family, guys, were badly affected, man. Very low income households for a long time. That's why it's motivated me to work even harder and make money online, okay? Because I wasn't born rich, unfortunately. I mean, some people are like that. Their parents have businesses, that get lucky, but yeah, we were not blessed with that at all. So it's great to see that the economy is kind of coming back a little bit, but it's also plunging, going down quite a bit. So hopefully maybe Trump or someone like that can bring the economy of the world back up,
Adults are really facing a perfect storm. They're in a labour market which hadn't recovered from the financial crisis, and then the pandemic has come on top of that.
Time for a new career.
Yeah, and the lockdowns, guys, the pandemic really affected the jobs as well. I was actually still working through it, but it was insane.
It is no longer primarily unskilled or unemployed workers that are moving away. Today, it are highly educated and trained young people. And this instilled fears of what the media called a brain drain. But let's not yet reach that conclusion.
But the age group involved, let's be honest about it, a significant proportion of them always went abroad, particularly after college, after finishing their first job.
We no longer...
That's not necessarily true. Like, you don't see like Americans and Canadians going abroad, you know, for a long time. You don't see these rich countries, Middle Eastern, UAE, Dubai, Oman, Kuwait, Bahrain. You don't see these countries with their people leaving to go abroad, guys, because they have massive amounts of money there and they have great luxuries. Okay, you only move abroad or emigrate if you have shit, guys, in your country. If your country sucks, basically, right? And you don't have much income and the standard of living is low. Like, that's why everyone's gone to Australia as well. It's crazy.
Live in the 1840s. It's easy to travel back and forth between mainland Europe and Ireland, or even from Canada and Australia. That puts millions of immigrants who recently moved away or during waves in the 2010s, 1980s or 1950s much more within reach. Particularly this recent wave of young people who left. Most of them went to countries outside the EU and they have short-term visas. It's very likely that they are at least considering returning. So what is the Irish government doing to cultivate a relationship with its expats?
I'll answer that one. Absolutely nothing, as the Irish government does nothing.
Many Irish still carry a strong sense of pride in their heritage. It's difficult to wrap your head around the sheer size of the Irish diaspora.
Oh yeah.
11% of US citizens, 14% of Canadians, and 30% of Australians have Irish roots.
Crazy.
There are more Irish people in Australia than in all of Ireland. This culture is still alive. It is visible, and Ireland can take advantage of it. Today, 1 in 10 people between ages 18 and 34 are planning to move abroad, while 1 in 3 is considering it. The most cited reason for moving away is the cost of living.
Yeah, the cost of living here is absolutely ridiculous. Even the beef, everything, all the food has gone up. It's just, yeah, Ireland is going to become uninhabitable soon, man, because a lot of Indian people come here to work in the factories, which I'm not against Indians. I actually like Indian people. But they come here to work in the IT sector, and it's just like the whole of Dublin is just like India. It's cool. I'm friends with them, but yeah, it is crazy that there's just like no Irish people left, kind of thing. It's kind of unbelievable at a certain point, you know what I mean? But
they can no longer afford the rent here in Dublin. They've had to move in with their siblings. They're living on couches. In my first year of college, I was
living on couches, you say, huh? Good old couch, guys. Pull out bed.
homeless. I was going between houses trying to find a place to sleep, and then for the last 3 years I've been squatting.
Many students look for housing outside the city, sometimes having to commute several hours to take a class. But in recent years, rural areas are seeing the fastest rent price increases as more people are looking for affordable accommodation.
There's a dire crisis in education, not only for the children who are homeless and who are having difficulties with housing, but especially for our young members who are leaving this country in thousands.
There's a sense of pessimism about the future. This is primarily fueled by perceptions that the economy is performing poorly and that the government isn't handling the situation. 1 in 3.
The government couldn't handle anything, guys. This country, they couldn't run a McDonald's, let alone a country. It's absolutely disgusting here, guys. It's a disgrace.
3 young people say that they rarely or never feel optimistic about the future.
Oh yeah.
1 in 2 say that they have low levels of mental well-being.
Everybody here is depressed. Not me. I'm mentally hardcore, guys, okay? But everyone here is depressed. It's unbelievable.
1 in 5 says that they occasionally skip meals due to high costs.
Yeah, that's true.
Immigrants who left the country during the wave in the 2010s rated their quality of life a 5.5 out of 10. A few years after moving away, they rated their lives abroad a 7.9 out of 10.
Wow.
A starting point would be to provide better support for the Irish youth at home. But the Irish government also does shockingly little to engage with its diaspora, especially if you compare it to other countries. In the Western Balkans, The government encourages its foreign nationals to invest and to start businesses in their countries of origin.
Yeah.
They aim to leverage their diaspora for economic development at home.
And so they should be, guys. Like, I'm Irish, I lived here my whole life, I don't get any funding from anywhere. I did this YouTube channel, I promote Ireland, I talk about Ireland, but I don't get any funding from the government. It's ridiculous. The government would never fund me. And I applied for it, I didn't get it. So, absolutely ridiculous.
In Poland, Lithuania, and Hungary, the focus lies primarily on providing education to its diaspora community to maintain cultural ties with their homeland.
Oh yeah.
In France, Portugal, Romania, and Italy, there are special seats in parliament to give its diaspora a say in domestic affairs. In fact, only Ireland and Malta don't allow their diaspora to vote during elections.
Wow.
The moment an Irish citizen leaves the country, they lose the right to vote. While most Irish citizens are of the opinion that they should temporarily or indefinitely maintain the right to vote, giving expats a vote in domestic affairs helps nurture a connection between them and the country. And despite regular calls to change this electoral system, it still hasn't happened.
Complete corruption, guys, because they know that if we were to be able to have all the people that immigrated to Australia and America abroad, if they were to vote, they would completely overhaul the whole system in Ireland, guys.
Immigration can actually alleviate some pressure on Ireland. If people are moving away, fewer people are competing for the same job. But Ireland also has massive talent shortages. They could potentially tap into their enormous diaspora community to target those people with these specific skills to come back home.
True. If they went to Australia or the US, they could get a ton of people that are educated to come back home, but they don't want that, guys. They want cheap labor from third world countries. That's plain and simple what it is.
This is what Romania did in 2022. They experienced significant numbers of people leaving their country, resulting in massive talent shortages. But they attracted tens of thousands of them to come back home and develop Romania's high-tech sectors. Portugal offered tax breaks of up to 100% on their personal income tax to target specific groups of people to stay in the country and to help alleviate talent shortages. But the solution always starts at home.
I've actually been away since 2019 working overseas, and I was really optimistic because my end goal was to come home, get a beautiful home in Dublin. However, I had to come back 4 years later. I have to sleep in a couch in my mom's house.
People aren't saving to buy houses now. They're saving to get out of the country.
What am I doing, and should I just move to Australia?
We know that the main reasons to leave the country is the economy, the government's handling of the situation, and the job market.
But like, you know, you shouldn't really want to be leaving your home country. A lot of people say, leave, leave, leave. You have no connection to any other country. You have no family. You have no community. You know, when you leave everything, guys, and it's not good, man. You want to build, 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 not leave, 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 you know? But that globalist agenda has been telling us all to leave the country. Leave, be free, be on your own. But that's the worst thing to be, is be on your own.
Improve these conditions and people will come back.
But I think we're not doing enough to incentivize our young people to stay here. We literally go abroad looking for nurses, looking for IT professionals, but we're not incentivizing our young people. We don't even value them as the asset that they are.
And if Ireland can create the right conditions at home, they hold the key to unlocking the potential of some of the largest and most influential diaspora communities in the world.
For sure. I love it, guys. I love it. We have the most influenced diaspora in the world, but we're not tapping into that market. We want to bring people in from the third world, make Ireland a shit country to live in, when in reality we should be promoting our own people, putting Ireland first, and promoting other people from America and Australia to come back and actually work here and grow this economy and grow this business. But they'll never do that because the government is the worst government that's ever existed, and that includes Oliver Cromwell. Okay, so let me know your thoughts, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want me to push back against the people, if you want me to react to more videos like this, make sure to leave a comment underneath the video and hit the join link underneath the video as well, and become a member for only €5 a month. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.